There is a word. You've heard it. You think you know what it means. You've seen it in movies. The flickering candle, the pin in the doll, the rolling eyes, the swelling drum beat that signals something evil is about to happen. You've heard it said like a warning, like an insult, like a punchline. The word is voodoo. They made movies, and propaganda was created to make you afraid of it. And they put it in the mouths of movie villains and horror icons for a century. Yet in 1791, it lit a fire that burned down the most profitable colony in the world, beat the most powerful army at the time, and produced the first free Black republic in history. The practice they tried to erase is the religion that was at the center of Haitian freedom. Welcome to Diaspora, the Soul of a People, Season 1. I am your host, Marie, and today we will talk about a historical perspective on Haitian Vodou. Let's dive in. There is a word. You've heard it. You think you know what it means. You've seen it in movies, the flickering candle, the pin in the doll, the rolling eyes, the swelling drum beat that signals something evil is about to happen. You've heard it said like a warning, like an insult, like a punchline. The word is voodoo. Except that word doesn't exist. Not really. Not in Haiti, not in the language of the people who actually practice it, not in the tradition that carried a people through the worst thing one human being has ever done to another. The correct word is Vodou. V-O-D-O-U. The Creole spelling, the Haitian spelling, the spelling used by scholars, by practitioners, by the people whose ancestors bled for the right to say that word out loud. The difference between voodoo and vodou is not a matter of spelling preference. It's the difference between a story someone told about you and the story you tell about yourself. It's the difference between a caricature designed to frighten and a religious practice that has survived 3 centuries of people trying to erase it. Today we begin there, with the word, because how something is named tells you everything about who has the power. My name is Marie, and I welcome you to Diaspora, the Soul of a People, Haitian Soul. And in this episode, we're talking about one of the pillars of a Haitian community, the concept of l'église, or church. This episode is about the spirit of a people, and it's titled, What They Carried, a Historical Perspective on Haitian Vodou. We're going to cover a lot of ground today. We're going to go to West Africa, to Brazil, to Cuba, to New Orleans, and then back to Haiti. We're going to talk about what was carried across the Middle Passage and what it became when it landed. We're going to talk about the laws written to kill voodoo and how it survived those laws. And we're also going to be precise about what voodoo is, and just as importantly, what it is not. So stay with me. Let's begin at the beginning. Let's start at the foundation. Voodoo is not a collection of spells. It's not dark magic. It's not a horror movie. It's a complete worldview, a philosophy, a system of medicine and healing, a framework for justice, and a spiritual practice of religion, all held together by one central belief, that everything is spirit. The visible world and the invisible are not separate. They're in constant conversation. At the center of Vodou cosmology is Bondyé, or Gramet, the supreme creator. The word Bondyé comes from Bon Dieu, which is the French, good God, and Gramet, which is great master. But Bondyé is not a God who intervenes in daily life. Bondyé is a higher power, vast, remote, unknowable. Think of Bondyé as the source that cannot be reached directly. So how do you communicate or reach the divine? Well, that's through the Lwa. The Lwa are spirits, intermediaries between humans and Bondyé. They're not demons, they're not devils. They are forces of nature and human experience given form and personality. Each Lwa governs specific domains of life. Each has preferences, specific offerings, specific colors, specific days, specific songs. Here are some examples of the Lwa. Papa Legba stands at the crossroads. He's the first Lwa invoked in any ceremony because he opens the gate between worlds. Without Legba, nothing moves. Ezili Delto is the Lwa of motherhood, of fierce love, of protection. She's often depicted as a dark-skinned woman with scars on her cheeks. She doesn't speak. According to tradition, her tongue was cut out. She communicates through action. Ogu governs metal, iron, war, and justice. Dambala is the ancient serpent Lwa, associated with rainbows, healing, wisdom, and creation. The practitioners of Vodou are called Vodouissants, or in Creole, serviteurs, servants of the spirits. The priests are called Iga. The priestesses are called manbo. These are not witch doctors. They are community leaders, healers, counselors, and keepers of a knowledge that predates the hospitals, the courts, and the governments that tried to erase them. Ceremonies happen in what's called the peristil, the Vodou temple. Some ceremonies begin with Catholic prayers, a legacy of the camouflage we still have to talk about, and we'll talk about that shortly. And then move into drumming, singing, and sacred dancing. The energy builds, and sometimes a Lwa will arrive. Possession in Vodou is not how Hollywood depicts it. A Lwa is said to be riding a practitioner. The practitioner in Creole then is referred to as the cheval, the horse. It's a sacred moment. The practitioner disappears, and the Lwa communicates, heals, advises, or scolds as necessary. The community receives what they need, and when the Lwa departs, the practitioner is often tired, remembers nothing, is exhausted, and can sometimes be very hungry. This is not chaos. This is liturgy. This is ancient, structured, intentional, and it's been keeping communities whole for centuries. The origin story is where the story itself gets larger than Haiti, because Vodou did not begin in Haiti. Haiti is where it became a source of home, a source of comfort, where it survived, where it transformed, where it was forged into something that supported the people in their quest for freedom. The root of Vodou is West Africa, specifically the Fon and Ewe peoples of what is now known as Benin and Togo, the old ancient kingdom of Dahomey. Vodou, spirit, was not a small local practice. It was a sophisticated, organized religious system. It had been the religion of the royal family of the Kingdom of Dahomey. It had its own theology, its own clergy, its own cosmology. Between 30 and 50 million people practice forms of this tradition across West Africa today. In Benin, it was declared the national religion in 1996. In spite of colonization, it was a living, continuous tradition, and it could never be eradicated. That is a key contrast. What happened to Vodou depended entirely on which colony received which people under which European power. Started with Brazil and Candomblé. Trafficked Africans taken to Brazil came primarily from Yoruba-speaking regions and the Congo Basin. What they built is called Candomblé. though it takes different names across different regions. For example, Shango in Pernambuco, Tambojiminya in Maranhão, Batuque in the south. In Brazil, the spirits are called orixá. The ceremonies take place in terreiros, large, formal temple compounds with separate structures dedicated to each orixá and living quarters for the community members. One critical difference from Haitian Vodou is that in Brazilian candomblé, the spirits do not speak publicly during possession. They communicate through the priests. In Haiti, the Loa are far more direct, if you will. They will speak to you. They will embrace you. They are approachable in a way that differs from the Brazilian tradition. Now let's travel to Cuba and Santeria. Cuba's trafficked people came from two distinct African sources. The Yoruba came and built what became Santeria, also called Regla de Ocha or Lukumi. The spirits in Santeria are orishas. The language of prayer is Lukumi, a creolized form of Yoruba. The Catholic saints used as cover are different from the ones used in Haiti. But Cuba also received people from Dahomey, the Fon, and what they built is called La Regla Arara. This is the direct cousin of Haitian Vodou. Same source population, different island, different colonial power, Spanish instead of French, a different mask. Here's something worth understanding. Papa Legba opens the crossroads in Haiti. Elegua opens the crossroads in Santeria. Similar functions, but they are not the same spirit. They are not interchangeable. The spirits served in these traditions are ancestral. They belong to specific peoples, specific lineages, specific histories. What looks like the same archetype is in fact many distinct beings. Leaving Cuba, let's go to Louisiana and talk about New Orleans Voodoo. After the Haitian Revolution, waves of refugees, free people of color, enslaved people, and white planters fleeing the uprising arrived in New Orleans. The free Black and enslaved communities among them carried Vodou with them. In New Orleans, it merged with the existing African spiritual practices of Louisiana's enslaved population, which included local Native American herbal traditions and a heavy French Catholic influence. What emerged in New Orleans is more individualized than Haitian Vodou. It's focused on personal rituals, protective charms called gris-gris, candle work, and practical spiritual intervention for specific needs. The community ceremony of Haiti became, in New Orleans, something closer to a consultation and individual practice. And now let's go to Haiti. In Haiti, something unique happened. Enslaved people from multiple African nations, Bon, Yoruba, Congo, Ewe, and others, some of whom were rivals, were forced together under conditions designed to destroy them. Instead, they built what's called a règlement, a ritual order that gave each tradition's spirits their own time, their own ceremonies, their own songs. Haiti did not choose one African tradition. It respectfully pulled them together. The Radalois, the cooler elder spirits, trace their origins to Dahomey and Yoruba. The Picoulois, fiercer, more urgent, are uniquely Haitian, born of the island, of the resistance, of the heat of what was happening here. The Guédélois govern death and the ancestors. Haitian Vodou is not a transplant. It's something that grew in a specific locale, under specific pressures, and became its own thing. related to its cousins in Brazil, Cuba, West Africa, and New Orleans, but its own thing. In 1685, King Louis XIV of France signed what's called the Code Noir, or the Black Code, 60 articles that established the legal framework for slavery across France's colonial empire. A French philosopher referred to it as the most monstrous legal text of modern times. Let's focus on a couple of things. First, Article 2, which said, all enslaved people must be baptized and raised as Roman Catholics. Article 3, which said, no religion other than the Roman Catholic and Apostolic faith may be practiced in public. Offenders will be punished as rebels. Any gathering for another religion is declared illegal and seditious. There were penalties. But penalties for resistance were documented and they escalated. First offense, you got your ears cut off and they branded you on the shoulder with a fleur de lis. The fleur de lis is the symbol of the French crown. Second offense, a leg tendon was severed and you were branded again. Third offense meant death. Here's an interesting fact. On May 28, 2026, the French Parliament voted to repeal the Code Noir, the Black Code. Think about it. This happened in our lifetime. Let that sink in for a minute. By 1790, there were 11 times as many Africans as Europeans in Saint-Domingue, modern-day Haiti. The French were vastly outnumbered. They knew it, and they understood something very clearly. Vodou was not just a religion. It was the mechanism by which 500,000 people could recognize each other, communicate across plantations, and organize without speaking. The French were not wrong, because Vodou was exactly that. So the enslaved did what every colonized people have done when their spirit is targeted. They hid it in plain sight. They went to Catholic Mass. They sang the songs. They learned the names of the saints. But behind those saints, they kept the law alive. St. Patrick, for example, and his snakes became Dambala, the serpent law. The chromolithographs of saints on church walls gave them exactly the imagery they needed to preserve their own deities. The Catholic Church, meanwhile, had no idea to what extent this was happening right inside their own churches. That is one of the most extraordinary acts of collective intelligence I've ever heard of. On August 14th or thereabouts, 1791, in the forests near Montrouge in the northern plains of Saint-Domingue, representative enslaved people from nearby plantations gathered in secret. A voodoo ceremony was held, and it was presided over by Duty Bookman, a oungan or priest, and Cécile Fatima, a manbo or priestess. 8 days later, the northern plain was on fire. The Haitian Revolution had begun. 13 years after that ceremony, Haiti was free. The only successful slave revolution in recorded history, produced the only nation in history founded by formerly enslaved people on their terms. The French, when they captured Bookman, beheaded him. They displayed his head in the public square at Cap Français, which is modern-day Cap Haïtien, to prove his mortality and assert their power. Well, guess what? It didn't work. Let's talk about what happened after Haiti won its independence. Haiti terrified the colonial world, not because Haitians were dangerous, but because they were free. And if enslaved people in Haiti could free themselves, enslaved people everywhere could see that as a possibility. Haiti had to be made to look like a warning and not an inspiration. That required two things. Number one, isolating Haiti economically and politically, which they did. And number two, destroying the spiritual tradition that had made the revolution possible. Early anthropology did the intellectual work. They did that first. Working from an evolutionary framework, scholars classified Vodou as the manifestation of a primitive, barbaric culture linked to magic and witchcraft. That framing was not casual prejudice. It was published in books, it was taught in universities, and it was repeated in newspapers. And that gave the demonization of Vodou an academic veneer that lasted well into the 20th century. Then Hollywood came along and finished the job. In 1929, a writer named William Seabrook spent a short time in Haiti and wrote a book called The Magic Island and introduced millions of Western readers to voodoo as exotic, mysterious, and filled with zombies and black magic. In 1932, White Zombie was the first feature-length Hollywood zombie film, set in Haiti, starring Bela Lugosi as a voodoo master controlling enslaved people as the Walking Dead. In 1973, the James Bond film Live and Let Die featured drums, snake worship, a sinister black priestess. Same story, repackaged for a different generation. Two scholars, Deborah Christie and Sarah Laurel, documented this directly. And they said, Haiti had to be demonized so that the civilizing forces of the white world could justify saving it from itself. The zombie, the image of a person stripped of will, forced to labor, controlled by someone else, was not a fiction born in Haiti. It was a projection of what the West had actually done there, reflected back and blamed on the Haitians themselves. Crazy, huh? Let's talk about the voodoo doll. That image associated the most with this tradition in Western culture. That has nothing to do with Haitian Vodou. The concept of using effigies to harm enemies from a distance has been documented in ancient Greece, ancient Rome, and European witchcraft traditions through the Middle Ages. The term voodoo doll did not even appear until the 20th century. It was invented, then it was attached to Haiti. Let's be clear, people. Vodou is not devil worship. There's no satanic figure in the Vodou pantheon. There's no an analog for evil as a supernatural force. The Loa are not demons. They are forces of nature and human experience that have been personified and served for centuries. Vodou is not black magic. It's a system of healing, community care, spiritual alignment, a system that has sustained Haitian communities through conditions that most people cannot imagine surviving. Voodoo dolls are not Haitian. They do not exist in traditional Haitian practice. Ritual figures in Vodou are created for healing and communicating with the ancestors, not for harm. Possession is not demonic. It is liturgy. It's a practitioner consenting to becoming a vessel for a spirit so that the community can receive what it needs. Today, Vodou is practiced across Haiti and throughout the diaspora. In New York, in Miami, in Montreal, in Paris. In 2003, Haitian President Jean-Bertrand Aristide formally recognized Vodou as an official religion of Haiti. That recognition came 318 years after the French Code Noir made it illegal, and 23 years before said code was repealed by the French government. Haiti's official census data from 2016 list 1.7% of Haitians as identifying exclusively as Vodou practitioners. That number reflects stigma, not practice. The Smithsonian Institute estimated that more than half the Haitian population practices Vodou in some form. There is a Haitian saying, and I don't know if you've heard it before. Saying says, Haiti is 90% Catholic, 10% Protestant, and 100% Vodou. In the diaspora, oungan and manbo, priests and priestesses, hold ceremonies in homes, in rented halls, in parks. For example, Riverside Park in New York becomes sacred ground when a priestess lights candles by a tree for the Loi. Prospect Park in Brooklyn becomes the Grand Bois, the Great Woods. The tradition does not need a specific building. It needs specific people who know the songs, the protocols, the traditions, and how to call the spirits by name. Yeah, they wrote laws to bury Vodou. They built churches on top of it. They sent missionaries to convert people away from it. They made movies, and propaganda was created to make you afraid of it. And they put it in the mouths of movie villains and horror icons for a century. Yet in 1791, it lit a fire that burned down the most profitable colony in the world, beat the most powerful army at the time, and produced the first free Black republic in history. The practice they tried to erase is the religion that was at the center of Haitian freedom. That practice, my friends, is Vodou. In our next episode, we're going to go deeper into the Loi themselves, the pantheon of spirits, who they are, what they govern, how the ancestors remain present in Haitian life, and the ceremonies through which contact is made. I'm your host, Marie, and this is Diaspora, the soul of a people, Haitian Soul. Until next time, I hope my story reminds you that there's no perfect way to balance religion and tradition. Thank you.